If you've spent any amount of time grappling with learning piano, you'll have spent at least 50% of it feeling frustrated and wondering if you're just kidding yourself. You started studying piano because you love a particular piece or a particular style of music, but the visions you had of yourself actually playing it have evaporated in the face of reality, and you probably find yourself wondering sometimes if there's any point continuing. I've been there too. I continue to go there. I'm not a concert pianist and I still have an immense amount to learn about playing piano. But I can tell you this, you're more than capable of achieving your goal, but you probably need to adjust your mindset. So ask yourself this, when you talk about where you are in the process of mastering the piano, do you use the words, I'm struggling? I'm struggling with note reading, I'm struggling with coordination, I'm struggling with rhythm. So think about what's behind that phrase, I'm struggling, because I think what's behind it is the assumption that everyone else finds this easier than you do. I think we're all actually a bit embarrassed at how slow our progress is. We imagine that everyone else is, picking this up twice as fast as us because somehow we lack the talent. And I'm not here to tell you that talent doesn't exist. We're all in awe of the great names in piano, and most of us could devote every waking moment of the rest of our lives to practicing and never come close to them. But thankfully most of us don't want to, and we don't need to. We just want to reach a certain level of competence and enjoy the process, right? And in any case, so-called talent by itself is not a predictor of success. I'm a teacher and I sometimes get young students starting out who seem to just get it. They fly through their first books and they come to lessons. I know they haven't practiced, but they're still able to play their music because they have some natural ability to pick it up. And when I was less experienced as a teacher, I figured these kids would be the ones to go all the way. They'd have grade 8 under their belt before they finish school. Well, I know better now. Now when I meet a young student like that, I take every opportunity to talk to them about having a growth mindset, because I know that at a certain point, it stops being easy enough so that they can cruise through, and that's the point where a lot of them drop out. Because if you don't have a growth mindset, that's the mindset that says, well, I can't do this yet, but if I work at it, I'll get better at it. You give up as soon as you meet an obstacle. If you have a fixed mindset, one that says, you're either good at something or you're not, and if you're not, sure, there's no point even trying. If that's your mindset, then the minute the going gets tough, your self-esteem is going to come under attack. And a lot of us grew up in an era where, a growth mindset wasn't recognized or encouraged. We learned to keep quiet about the stuff that we didn't understand because we didn't want to look stupid, and oftentimes we gave up on things that we might actually have become good at, like maths or languages or whatever, because it felt less devastating to our sense of self to fail because we didn't try, rather than take the risk of trying and failing anyway. Because nobody told us that mistakes and failure are part of learning. And I see the same things in these young students who lose interest in piano once it gets a little bit more challenging, because sadly they've learned along the way that if you're smart, if you're talented, it should mean that everything comes easy, and if you have to work at it, it means you're no good. So that's what I'm getting at when I ask you if you use the phrase, I'm struggling, because I put it to you that you're not struggling, you're learning. And it's often hard, and it takes time, way more than we ever allow for, and it takes energy and application and mindfulness and patience. But above all, it takes interest, and that, more than natural talent, is what predicts success as far as I'm concerned. If you're interested in something, you'll become better at it, because you'll be willing to stay with it and come back to it, because you do it for the love of it, and you'll have that bit more drive to overcome the challenges. Motivation isn't going to show up every day, but having an interest in what you're undertaking gives you that nudge to practice and makes you willing to endure the uncertainty and look for solutions to problems. The people who play piano on the international stage will have spent many years practicing 8 to 10 hours a day, and they'll still practice 3 to 4 hours a day now in their established careers. And they did that because they were interested to an obsessive degree. Even the reluctant student who has to be nagged into practicing an hour every day to pass their grade 4 exam, they couldn't do it if they weren't interested to some degree, even if their parents have to remind them and encourage them. And the reason you're here watching this, the reason you keep coming back to the piano day after day, or at least somewhat regularly, is because you're interested. So please nurture that interest. Allow yourself to imagine a future where you can play the way you want to. Stop imagining that everyone else is better than you. Allow yourself the time you need to overcome each challenge as you meet it, and trust that a year from now, you'll have made great progress, and you'll still be frustrated by something or other. It just comes with the territory. So to make the process a bit easier, I have a free practice workbook that you can download. The link is down below, and it's full of my favorite practice strategies that really do work. So grab yourself a copy of that if you haven't got it already. Here's a video that I recommend you watch next, and I'll see you soon. So happy practicing.